Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Talking Mons, our Digimon Ghost Game Recap podcast. My name is JD, and of course I've got Jeanette and Gary here.
Hello!
Hi!
And this week's we're going to be talking about episode 33, Whispers of the Dead, as well as episode 34, Wall Crawlers.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked by what happened in the first 30 seconds of Whispers of the Dead. They killed off one of the main characters. And it's not one of those kid-friendly goodbyes, literally dead.
Yeah, I mean, Gary's not exactly exaggerating, but yeah, kind of. Yeah, we got a weird duo of episodes this week. We've got one that is kind of fucked up, honestly, when you really think about it.
They're both fucked up.
And the other one, I for reasons I'll get into later, I feel is kind of a rehash, but we'll get to that when we do. We'll go ahead and start with episode 33, Whispers of the Dead, and as Gary alluded, Kyo pretty much dies within like the first minute of this episode. Like, just straight up is dead.
Because of, was it Piximon throwing around a bomb just for fun in the dorm? I mean, luckily he like switched them to the semi-digital world really quick, or it'd be more than Kyo who died. Yeah,
so Kyo basically has a near-death experience where he goes to like a weird limbo state, but for all intents and purposes, he's like dead for a few minutes. So they have to go visit Mummymon, who like just so happens to have a serum for like this exact problem.
Well, no, Jellymon revived him, like literally defibrillated him.
Right.
But then he keep hearing voices.
Yeah, he keeps hearing...
having multiple like near-death experience, like random street sign falling. He keeps like slipping, like almost like hitting his head onto a urinal, which is a terrible way to go.
And he almost gets hit by a car. But yeah, twice. So Kyo just spends this entire episode having like near-death experiences, only to finally go back into limbo state by not the car that hits him, but the curb he hit his head on, dodging out of the way of the car.
And all the friends were like looking out for him too, but it still didn't work.
All right.
He's gonna catch a break. And
it turns out that it's not just bad luck or what have you. Oh, of course, it's a Digimon that is causing this trouble for Kyo. I am blanking on the Digimon's name at the moment. I know it's like an armor evolution. But basically this Digimon can exist between the realms of life and death. And like seems to think it can only be friends with spirits. So it wants to murder Kyo so it can be friends with him. So this is kind of messed up episode. What do you guys think?
I usually watch the Digimon episodes in pairs. I was actually this episode creeped me the fuck out, and I was so unsettled after it. I was like, yeah, I have to take a breather before I can watch the next one.
I really like this one. It like fully like dive head deep into the premise of Ghost Game.
I liked it too. I was just unsettled.
But there's one thing that I really didn't like is at the very end. For some reason, when
it's Sepicmon.
Yeah, okay, that's the name. For some reason, at the very end, during Ngoromon's like soliloquy, his face covered up the location of where what's that Digimon name again? Sepicmon went to, and like it's really odd because it's the only time we ever see that they will have his face on the screen like separately as he was doing the soliloquy. I don't get why. But at the very end, I was wondering where that is, and so was Jeanette, and I'm sure you were too. It's turned out it's the gate to one of the underworld in Japan. It's called Mount Osori. It's
all right then.
The northernmost part of the main island of Japan.
Interesting.
So that's a huge cultural reference that we didn't get, and it's also terrible that they didn't put like a little subtitle in like on the screen, like saying what that sign is saying, because kind of obvious that it's written something there, but it also was blocked out by Angoromon. But especially for us, foreigner who doesn't read kanji.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, Crunchyroll.
Yeah. So that's cool that it's like an actual place and like that it is tied to like that theme of like death and the afterlife. I had to look up Sepikmon because I could not remember it. So I had to literally just like pulled up I knew it was an armor, so I had pulled up literally the entire armor evolution chart. And I completely forgot Sepikmon is actually Armadillomon's Crest of Friendship evolution. So that even kind of ties into Sepikmon's like wanting to be friends with Kyo. So it's kind of there's a couple different layers to this guy. That said, Sepikmon is creepy as hell.
Kyo was
sorry, go ahead.
Kyo was so rude to reject his offer of friendship for some reason.
I mean, it's be his friend, but also have to die. So like, I'm not completely like against Kyo and his decision. Honestly, probably same.
Yeah. Which the chase scene, like of him hiding in the limbo purgatory place, is like really tense. And
yeah.
Oh no, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
Okay. Well, and also with Mummymon's serum, where he gave him to Jellymon to have her somehow go into purgatory to find Kyo as well. Like, I like that part of like Jellymon willing to like go and bring back Kyo. Like, it's just a testament to their friendship. But my question is why? Like, I don't exactly understand that concept of that serum.
So it doesn't make sense because I think what he says originally is that he uses it to basically sedate certain Digimon that are coming through that are like, you know, a little out of hand. So it calms them down. So it's like, okay, so I'm going to inject you with the serum. It puts you in a death-like state, but it also gives you a lot of energy for some reason. And that's just an excuse to basically say, okay, Jellymon, this is going to send you to limbo, but it's also give you extra superpowers for reasons. But yeah, Sepikmon is super creepy, and like you said, Gary, that whole like chase scene through the limbo city, where you just don't know if he's going to be hiding around any corner. Like, it is actually kind of a tense episode that way.
It reminds me of one of the like Ocarina of Time character. It's like
he has a Skull Kid vibe about him.
Yeah,
I can totally see that. But yeah, it's super creepy. You actually get to see a character die. Like, one of the main characters dies on screen.
Technically twice.
Bold move.
Oh, but there's one other thing that I wasn't expecting. We saw Betsumon again.
Oh yeah!
Like, after they took Kyo to the hospital via ambulance, one of the drivers like, you have to sign these documents, and it was Betsumon who just like shoo him away, just like roll him towards Mummymon.
Yeah, because Mummymon's like working in a hospital now, which, you know, good for him. But you know, you kind of see that there's this real network of Digimon now because like I think Betsumon says the only reason he came is because Clockmon told him to. But it's like Clockmon is telling Betsumon to take him to Mummymon, who he knows is a doctor. So it's like, okay, all these Digimon that we've got to know over the series so far are starting to find their place in this world. And it's cool to see that they have their own little like communication network and like knowing who's who and who does what and like, you know, who they can trust and all that. So for as much as I'm complaining that like we're not getting too much plot, I think we're getting a lot of character development at least.
I think so,
and world building.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that too, how it's neat to see how it's kind of coming together. Like, it's not like super exciting or high action the way it is, but it's progressing in a kind of interesting way that they're all finding each other, and it's cool.
Jeremy Snow here, owner and editor-in-chief of The Geekly Grind. I'm interrupting your awesome, regularly scheduled programming to ensure that you know about our Geekly Grind podcast network, of which this show is a treasured member of. If you haven't had a chance to check out our site, you can do so at www.thegeeklygrind.com, and while you're there, Check out the other members of our steadily growing podcast family, including the anime-centric Blake and Spencer Get Jumped, discovering new heroes and comic book keepers with Chris and Lance, exploring the vast universe of geekdom with Geek Exploration, or of course appreciating animation's finer details with the Ink and Paint Club. Escape your weekly grind at the Geekly Grind.
Alrighty, so that will move us to episode 34, which is called Wall Crawlers. I mentioned at the beginning of this episode that I feel like this is a rehash. I feel like this is treading in similar territory to that episode a little while back where all of the partner Digimon got turned into bugs.
Oh yeah, but now it's the other way around.
Yeah, so instead of like corrupting, like this is literally like 10 episodes ago. So instead of the Digimon turning into weird bug creatures, humans are being turned into weird gecko hybrids to steal diamonds.
It's very upsetting.
I think the plot of this is super stupid, to be honest, because it's basically we find out that Salamandramon, who is also another armor evolution, I think, is basically has the power to turn people into weird gecko hybrids so that they will go out and steal diamonds because Salamandramon eats the carbon that's in diamonds. And that's its motivation.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, feel like it's, I mean, there's carbon everywhere. It could be anything, and Salamandramon could just literally eat anything, anywhere. He can face through walls anyway.
Yeah, and it's such a stupid cop-out at the end where he basically says, like, Hero's like, yeah, you can't be doing this, and Salamandramon's like, okay, but what am I supposed to eat? And fucking Hero's like, I'll go bring you some broken pencils every now and then. He's like, oh yeah, you can get carbon out of the graphite. It's like, okay, sure. Go put him in like in a coal mine or some shit.
He can literally, Japan burns garbage. He can literally go eat the burnable stuff because if it's burnable, it has carbon.
I don't know. It's such a stupid thing. Yeah. I mean, it's creepy seeing all the weird gecko children, and even Ruli gets turned.
I like every part about it except for how it turns out like the Salamandramon's like motivations. This is basically, I hate Dad, but I love everything else about it.
You like the setup, but not the reason.
Yeah, which is kind of rare. Usually,
I'm pretty much there with you. Jeanette, what did you think about this one?
I mean, I wasn't really the biggest fan. It more creeped me out more than anything else because the gecko people were super creepy. But it was a really dumb story. I agree.
Yeah.
Hero? Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Why was Hero at that house? Was it his house that he's just cleaning up, or is this?
I think the house he's in at the beginning is his house.
Okay.
Because he mentions how the school is letting him stay out, so I assume that's his house.
Like, it would be nice to have a little more clarification, like a family picture or something.
Yeah,
they don't have to say anything, but
because I think it's the same house that he went to when Arukenimon showed up. I think. I don't know. Yeah, Hero's like cleaning a house at the beginning, and I think he might have said it's his house. But his mom is overseas and his dad is lost in another dimension, and doesn't seem too bothered by it, honestly. But yeah, so like the gecko people are super creepy. Like the first one you see, the first girl, just seeing her like fucking crawling on the ceiling and then just bust out the window and just like fucking run. And then you just see a horde of them like start crawling down the street. It's super unnerving.
They can melt glass with their spit.
Yeah, that's spit, man.
And it's also just as unnerving, like with like how the parents knows about it, but doesn't know what to do.
Yeah, they're just like, what? I think Hero. Apparently, Hero knows the first girl that got infected, so he goes to see her. And then the parents like, yeah, we don't know what to do. She won't let us take her to a doctor. And I'm like, I don't know, man. If my child was like turning into a weird amphibious monster, I don't care what they say. I'm like hog-tying them and they're going to the doctor.
Well, she attacked the father.
That's true.
And the mom also say like, what can the doctors do?
That's true.
Which is also very true.
She's got a point there.
I don't know. The reply was just like, oh, my daughter's just cursed, got one of those gecko curses.
They are way too chill about all the weird Digimon stuff that happens in this world.
Yeah. I want an episode without any of our heroes, or at the very least as the main focus. I want like to follow Ruli's friend or one of the heroes' Stormmate, just to go throughout the day to see like what's their perspective on all this weirdness.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them. I think we discussed it before that like I think one of Ruli's friends is starting to figure it out.
Yeah.
But I think pretty much everyone else is still convinced that like, oh, all the partner Digimon are just like, they're very advanced, very smart holograms, and it's not weird that they can eat.
Yeah, but I'm talking about all the other stuff going on, because these things keep getting bigger and bigger. It's like with the gecko people, and then the thing happened at the mall with people breathing fire.
I don't know. They're just like, that was weird. I'm sure nothing like that won't happen until next week.
Like, I want to see like a Japanese Digiverse Alex Jones yelling about conspiracy.
This is a dude. It's like one of those politicians that yells on the street in Japan. It's just like a conspiracy theorist instead. He's got a big sandwich board and shit.
Yeah, yelling about big holotech corporation.
There's monsters around us, man, everybody. You can't see it, but I can see it, and I can save you. I can totally see that, honestly. But yeah, this one's just like, there's nothing plot advancing in this. The story really falls flat by the end. It definitely feels like a filler episode.
Yeah.
Jeanette, I assume you feel similarly.
Yeah, I feel the exact same way, to be honest. I don't really have a lot to say. It's just first up, the Kyo episode was really good, and this episode was just I just don't like it.
Yeah, you get a trade off sometimes. You get a good episode partnered with a episode.
I agree. I agree.
All right, well, I guess that'll wrap us up for this week. Probably a pretty brief episode, honestly, but that's okay. I hear things are about to go down soon. I may have been spoiled on the next episode, but we'll talk about that next time. But until then, thank you everybody for listening. We do truly appreciate it. Let us know in the comments or on our socials what you thought of this episode or these 2 episodes. And stay safe out there, and we will catch you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.